Suppose you're in church praying to God. While praying, you start to get disturbed by the faint laughs and whispers from behind. You wonder about the commotion and turn your head backwards. From there, you see a group of Muslims entering. Whispers become more audible and direct. That's when you realize they were laughing and mocking the group. In this situation, what would you do?
Everybody's perception on religion is created by an existing source of influence. They interpret worldviews based on their geographical and domestic circumstances, each of which possessing its own traditions and beliefs. In our case, as Christians, we believe that one must first know Jesus in order to approach God directly. Acknowledging Jesus as the way, the truth, and life means to us that He is the only way to God, the only mediator between God and humanity, and the only representative who can reconcile us to God. He sets us free, for He is the embodiment of truth and the source of eternal life.
This emphasizes our importance of faith in Jesus, that through His teachings and sacrificial death, He is the ultimate pathway to redemption and eternal life. By believing, gaining trust, and becoming one of His followers, we can experience the meaningful, fulfilling, and abundant life that He promised.
Our beliefs as Christians show a significant distinction from other religions. As a result of divergent opinions and ideas, interreligious conflicts arise. In some cases, these disagreements are fruitless since neither one pays attention to the other. According to the World Economic Forum, religious violence is increasing at a high rate and is creating tension and barriers between people. This has been a controversial issue worldwide, as these conflicts often lead to social and political tension, whereas come to worse, violence.
This type of violence may be expressed in various ways, including verbal disagreements, physical confrontations, and discrimination. The most common source of conflict is the perception of religious inclusivity, or the belief that one's own religion is the only true path to salvation or enlightenment. This can lead to intolerance and lack of respect for other religions, which can escalate into violence and aggression.
Instead of fighting each other, we should be more open to our hearts and minds to better understand other religions and recognize similarities and differences of our respective faiths. Just like how Jesus opened His mind and heart towards the Samaritans, especially a Samaritan woman, by approaching her regardless of the religious dispute at the time. Through this approach, it breaks the Jews and the Samaritans' cultural and religious barriers.
These stories reflect the process that resolves religious disputes constructively and creatively. This is called an interreligious dialogue. We may not be as perfect as God, but we can at least strive hard to adhere to His principle teaching that we are created in His image and likeness. This way, we spread love and courteousness to one another, even outside our own denomination. That's why interreligious dialogue is crucial, as it creates an engaging effort between people of differing faiths. Through this, people will be able to discover a common ground and take great consideration to educate themselves when interacting with someone from another religion.
The Philippines may be dominated by Christianity due to its history, but there are also a handful of Muslims, Buddhists, and others. This indicates that we have a diverse range of beliefs, faiths, and traditions. We shall engage in interreligious dialogue in order to achieve peace and harmony in our country. Not only that, the Academy for Cultural Diplomacy states that interreligious dialogue plays a vital role, as it can advance world peace by uniting faiths and by fostering reciprocal understanding, acceptance, and tolerance amongst disparate religious communities.
That's why we should be aware that there are better ways to settle these types of conflicts. We Christians aren't the only ones residing in the Philippines, which is why we need to promote interreligious dialogue among others, especially to those who are unknowledgeable and obstinate. Let them recognize that favoring violent acts only distances us from what our God truly wants us to have, unity and harmony. Let them understand that these types of dialogues aren't ways to tamper their own beliefs. When these are taken care of, cooperation becomes apparent, and equality and understanding becomes more visible throughout our nation.
Now, let's go back to the scenario from earlier. With all the concepts in mind, will you take a stand and teach those ignorant police a lesson, or turn a blind eye and leave the Muslims in needless shame? What would you do?